Hi, today we are going to work with Ollama, a way to run LLM models locally on your machine. But before begin with that, I want to start with a warning that always be careful, always be careful when you send your data to the LLMs out there. It could be ChatGPT, DeepSeek, or any other LLMs. The reason because that always comes with a risk, like privacy risk. Your data might be stored, analyzed, or even shared to third parties. Then the privacy concerns, because if you accidentally send your sensitive or confidential information, you have no idea how that could be used. They could use it in any way they want. Also, the data which you're sending, they use that data to train their LLM models. That is still fine, but what if that data consists of sensitive or confidential information? That's where the problem. Usually for simple tasks like a language check or grammar check, language conversion, all those kind of normal things, simple things, you don't need to send your data to LLM servers. Rather, you can run LLMs locally on your machine. Your data will never leave your machine. So that's exactly what we are going to look at today with. So let me pull today's plan. Before going through what we are building today, let's begin with what is Ollama. Ollama is an open source tool for running large language models locally on your machine, which means you can download the complete LLM locally to your machine and you can run everything locally. If I tell an example, say you want to convert English to Dutch and you give some input, and that input will never leave your machine. That runs completely offline, which means that that's totally secure. You don't need to worry about leaving your sensitive information outside the machine. Ollama support different models like Llama 3.1, DeepSeek, Mistral, and many other LLMs, which you can run locally. Also, it provides a simple API for creating, running, and managing the LLM models. What are the benefits of running Ollama locally? As I've mentioned, that is completely secure. That's enhanced privacy. Because as that is completely running offline, you don't need to worry about leaving your sensitive information outside your machine. Next one is cost efficiency. As you might know, if you want to use the APIs of LLMs like ChatGPT or DeepSeek or other LLMs, that comes with a cost. You have to pay, depends on the amount of tokens you are using. But with Ollama, you're running everything locally, and because of that, you don't need to pay any amount of money. Next one is improved performance. Again, you're running it locally, and because of that, it comes with high performance as well. This is what we are going to look into today. We are building today. First, we install Ollama on local machine. Then we use two different language models, DeepSeek and Ollama model. And we connect to Ollama in 4 different ways. First one is connect to Ollama using Python HTTP request, but to the locally hosted one. Then we use Ollama package, and by using Ollama package, we can save tremendous amount of code. Next one is using Open AI package. So that is one of the common way of calling any language models. That is using Open AI package. But within Open AI package, we use DeepSeek and Ollama package, not Open AI package, not the Open AI LLM models, but instead of that we use the DeepSeek LLM and Ollama LLM. Then we connect to Ollama using terminal in the command prompt or bash in Linux or Mac OS. Then we create or set up a nice beautiful UI, and you can interact with the locally hosted LLMs through that UI. And we create a sample application to scrap a website using Ollama and BeautifulSoup. And then we send the whole text of that web page to the LLM. In this case, we use DeepSeek to the LLM, and we ask the LLM to summarize the content of that website. A real world example which you can use with this is, say you want to automate the whole blogging process and you're following a website. So what you can do is you can scrap the whole website and you can take the whole content out of that, and you can instruct the LLM to create a blog post out of that completely locally again. So with that, you'll get a beautiful blog which you can post to your blog. So this is what we are going to build today. Stay tuned till the end. It's really a nice journey. So let's begin now. Okay, let us set up for that. Go to ollama.com and download the Ollama software from here. You can run it for macOS, Windows, and Linux. And the installation is pretty straightforward. Give all the default and install it. Once the installation has been completed, go to another tab and run localhost 11434. You should be able to see Ollama is running. If in case you are finding any problems, what you should do is open a PowerShell, or a bash terminal on macOS and Linux, just run Ollama pull llama 3.2. And once the pull has been completed, come here and just refresh. You should be able to see Ollama is running fine. So that's the whole setup for Ollama. And now let us pull a DeepSeek LLM model locally to our machine. And to get DeepSeek, open PowerShell once again, or bash terminal on Mac and Linux. Run this command, Ollama pull DeepSeek R1 1.5b. Basically, we are getting a DeepSeek listener of 1.5 billion parameters, and hit enter, and that will download DeepSeek R1 to your local machine. So that's a whole setup for DeepSeek. And now let us do some Python coding on how we can interact with this DeepSeek model from our machine. I have opened VS Code here. First, let me create a virtual environment. I'm creating virtual environment with Conda. If you don't have Conda, you can create it with Python as well. Conda create, name of the virtual environment. I have given the name Ollama demo, but for you, you can give any name of your choice. And I'm using Python 3.11. If you don't have Python 3.11 installed, go to python.org and find 3.11 and come down here, and depends on your OS, download and install specific Python. And creating the version, hit enter. Let me move this a bit and proceed. Yes. And it starts downloading and extracting the packages. Conda virtual environment has been created. Now we need to activate that. For that, copy this one, Conda activate Ollama demo. That's the virtual environment name. And after that, the virtual environment has been ready. And now let's start creating the Python. Let me create a file named Ollama demo.py. I have the code ready. Let me paste it and I'll explain it line by line. Import request, because we need this to make an HTTP call, and Ollama API. This is the locally hosted API, which I have already shown you after running Ollama. We have hosted that to this port 11434, which is same as this 11434 that is running. And content type, we are sending JSON type, and model we are using Llama 3.2. We will see DeepSeek in a bit, but for now we are running Llama 3.2 model. And messages, this is the messages we are sending to the LLM, like Llama 3.2 here. When you send message to any LLM, there are three types of messages. One is system messages. We are setting the context or persona. In our case, act as a medical expert. That's a persona. Next is user message. That's the actual message. As a user, I want to tell or ask to the LLM model. In this case, please write a blog post about the importance of sleep for mental health. That's a message. As a user, I want to check with or ask LLM to do. Next one is AI message. We don't need AI message here. AI message is actually the response we are getting back from the AI. So those are three types of messages. So we have prepared these messages and payload. First one is model. Model is we are using Llama 3.2, and messages these messages, and set the stream to false. So it immediately download everything to the memory while we run this. And we are posting to Ollama API. Ollama API is the same one, localhost 1434, and JSON payload is this payload, and the headers is this header. And we are printing that result to the console. Let us run that now. py, Ollama demo.py. Perfect, here it is. We got the response back with a full blog post. You can see how long this actually is. It's super cool, isn't it? Because when you look at here, we are running the LLM completely on our local machine, on our local host, which means we are not dealing with any of the external servers. It's that safe. So that's the first method of coding. Now let us do this, but with a Llama package, because here we have to write quite a number of lines of code to run this. But with the package, the Ollama package, we can reduce a lot of code. So let us do that next. Before getting to the next step, let's see how beautiful it is. It has returned the result. Like, see, adults 26 to 64 years, you need 7 to 9 hours of sleep. It actually split between the age and the amount of sleep need for each age group. It's so awesome, isn't it? Now let's try with Llama package. Let me clear the screen and let me remove this code from here. I'll explain again in a bit. We need only model and messages. So let me remove everything else. We don't need Ollama API because by default the Llama package assumes that's the address it needs to connect to. Let me clear this. We don't need payload as well here. We don't need payload. Let me just remove that alone. And we need to have Ollama. For that, import Ollama. That's all we need here. And let's try the same again. Py Ollama demo.py and hit enter. And there it is. This time we got a different message, not same as the last one, because here we couldn't find an age-wise split. That's fine. The message is not consistent. That might be the same if you're sending the message to the LLMs out there as well. Now let us see the next way interacting with local Ollama, that is using OpenAI package. Let me clear it once again and let me copy another piece of code here. Okay, the same base URL, and that is locally hosted URL again, and API key is Ollama. It's same. Even for you, that'll be the same Ollama. That's the default one. And we just using OpenAI. For that, we need to install OpenAI to our virtual environment. OpenAI has been installed, and here we need to import that package. For that from already, and remaining all same. We just given the URL, API key, and we are calling Ollama via OpenAI chat complete create, and then we are passing model, that is this model Llama 3.2, and messages, that is this messages, and we are just printing the message here, the output here. Let us run that. Py Ollama demo.py, and there is the result. This time as well we didn't get the age-wise split, so that's different from the first output. And so far we were using the model Llama 3.2, and next let's see how we can, you might be remembering that we have downloaded the DeepSeek reasoner 1.5 billion parameter model, and now let's see how we can use that instead of this model. Okay, let me clear it once. And to use DeepSeek, only change you need to do is change this model from Llama 3.2 to DeepSeek R1 1.5b. This package OpenAI, that's pretty, everyone uses this OpenAI package, because to switch from one language model to another is as simple as this one. Just change the language model, that's all. And let us run that, and there is the result. Let's see how DeepSeek responding. There you can see it's reasoner model, right? So you can see that it's thinking, okay, I need to write a blog post about the importance of sleep and mental health, and keeps thinking, it's thinking, and we got the conclusion. The output is definitely more powerful than Llama model which we ran before. Here as well it didn't give an age-wise split, but it did pretty good reasoning. And the beauty is it did everything locally on our machine. Our data didn't leave. For example, if you say, please write a blog post about the importance of sleep for mental health, and you're giving your personal details like age and all, then that's definitely a sensitive information. And if you're not running it locally, that it will leave your machine, and yeah, the people out there will get your sensitive information. But running locally, you got the output, but without leaving the sensitive data from your machine. Okay, now we have seen 4 different ways using Python, and next let's see how to run this language model locally in a UI. To run Ollama on your local machine, you can use Open-WebUI. As you see here, Open-WebUI is an extensible, feature-rich and user-friendly self-hosted AI platform designed to operate entirely offline. So you can completely run it offline, and it supports various LLM runners like Ollama and OpenAI compatible API. So we are looking into Ollama, and as you see in the screenshot, we can select the language model here, and we can run it through this UI completely offline. And there are 2 different ways we can run Ollama. First is using Docker, and the next one is using Python package. We are running it through Python package. If you want, you can run it through Docker as well. I will show it here. If you want to run it through Docker, you can just copy this command. Docker should be installed on your machine, and you can just copy this command and you can run it. But I'm installing through the Python package. For that, we need to install Open-WebUI Python package. Let me copy this and open the PowerShell. And once that is installed, we should run this command Open-WebUI, Open-WebUI serve. Okay, let us wait for that to be completed. It will take a bit. That has been installed. Let me clear the screen once, and let us do OpenUI-serve. Open Let me copy that command. That is Open-WebUI serve. It will take a bit. The setup has been done and it is waiting on port 8080. It should be. Let me check documentation once again. This will start OpenUI web serve, Open-WebUI server, which you can access on this port localhost 8080. Let us see. There it is. So now this is complete UI. You can run it locally, and here you can select the LLM of your choice. I'm selecting DeepSeek 1.5 billion, this parameter, this one, which we have installed or pulled sometimes back. Now let us play around a bit. Let me copy the same question key and this as well. You can see it's thinking, and there it started writing the block. Let's wait a moment. Wow, it written a complete block. See, so this is how simple it is to run Ollama in a UI on your local machine. Let's build to scrap a website and do everything locally, the scrapping of the complete website. Let's do that next. I've created this Python file, website scrapping.py. What it basically do is we'll pass a URL from here. I'm passing the same Open-WebUI URL, the same GitHub. Okay, and I'm asking to summarize it to the LLM. I'll show you that. And we are making a HTTP request to that URL, and we'll get the response from here. And we are passing that response text to BeautifulSoup and finding old paragraph. So we are getting old paragraph from here and looping through all of the paragraph and taking a text content out of that, appending old paragraph and taking a text content out of that. And we are limiting the text to 4,000 characters. And then we are initializing Ollama. You can see here we are using the local host and using the model DeepSeek R1, the local which we are running, and creating the system and user message. In the system message, we see the following text, and we are passing that text content here. And then we are getting the response here. Here you can see we are getting the response message content. So what basically happens is it goes to this URL / Open-WebUI. It goes there and get the whole content, and taking the paragraph from paragraph out of that content, and then we pass the whole text content to the LLM model, and asking LLM to summarize that, and we'll get the summarized text. A scenario like this, you want to automate your blog writing every day. So what you can do is you can take any of the websites which you are following. You can scrap the content out of that, the whole text out of that, and you can ask LLM to create a blog out of that content. Then it will write a beautiful blog. So that's a real scenario which you can do. You can automate the whole process. And let us run this to see what we are getting. For that, py web scrapping.py, and there is the summary. Let's go through it. It started thinking, and it wrote a complete nice summary. Nice. So we don't need to go through the whole website to get a summary. We can save a lot of time. So this is the example, and let's see what all we cover today. Before concluding, I want to show one more way you can run Ollama in your local machine. That is in using terminal or in Bash in Mac and Linux. And the command to run that is, you need to say Ollama run and the LLM model which you want to run. In case, I'm using DeepSeek R1. This is the one we have downloaded, and just hit enter, and it's waiting for the message. I'm going to give the same message. Please write a blog post about the importance of sleep for mental health. And it started thinking, and that is, it comes up with a nice blog. If you come down, you can see the blog content here. So if you don't want to use UI, this is another way to run Ollama. Now let us conclude what we have seen today so far. So we installed Ollama in local machine. We tried Ollama with DeepSeek and Ollama model. Then we connected Ollama using Python HTTP request that we have completed. Connect to Ollama using Ollama package. We have completed that as well. Then connect Ollama with OpenAI package. Also that has been completed. Set up a UI to run Ollama. And finally, we created an app to scrap a website using Ollama and summarize it using LLM. So we have covered all the topic. Thank you for being with me today. And I really hope I have given some value to you. If you think the same, please give me a thumbs up, and please don't forget to subscribe my channel. Also, if you have a comment, please feel free to comment in the comment box. That'll give some value to me as well. And yeah, until see you next time. Bye.